just starting my hike into this area that I've hunted before. This is another kind of area known for good doe movement. I usually pop in at least once a year, give it a shot. I've actually had several close encounters here over the last couple years, but just have not been able to get it done. Man, I don't know if y'all can see that guy, but that's a gnarly spider. Yeah, thing buried in my camp. Glad I didn't walk through that thing. Anyways, had several close encounters. Just have not been able to close the deal on a doe. Back in here, they always seem to catch my ground scent or walk straight up to the tree that I'm in and catch my scent and spot my sticks, whatever it may be. So I'm hoping that today my luck will change. So one thing I will say is I have not actually been back here yet. This year, generally I like to pop in and pre-scout just to make sure nothing's been timbered or not much has changed. I know last year they did a lot of cutting on the very back of this parcel. So I don't suspect that there has been, but if there is, then obviously my plan will change. Probably got about another 45 minutes of hiking, and at least another 45 minutes of getting set up. So I'm gonna shut up and pay attention to what I'm doing so I don't end up with one of those giant spiders on my face. It is very calm again this morning. The wind was supposed to be 4 to 5 miles an hour. So far, I'm still waiting on it to show up. But based on what I'm seeing so far, the thermals are carrying my scent just off of where the deer traveled through here. So as of now, I think we're alright. My only concern would be trying to draw back on something when it's this calm. Based on how they move, I mean, they could be pretty close to me from where I'm set up, within 15 to 20 yards. So hopefully the wind picks up. I get a little rustle in the leaves to cover up some sound. I'm kind of tucked in between two fields along a creek. These deer will travel across the field to my north, funnel down into this bottom, kind of along this hardwood bottom here in front of me. Generally kind of cut to the south, or sometimes they'll actually come from the south and cut to the north. So if they continue to do what they've done in the past, I think I'm in the right location. I'm setting a lot of different trees right in this area. I can't ever seem to be in the right one. This tree I'm in, I'm actually in a tree that splits about 2 feet off the ground. This is a tree I've had my eye on for a long time, but I haven't been able to get in it because of my stand set up. This morning's actually my first time to get set up in my new Lone Wolf custom gear public stand. So far, super impressed with it. It's got that offset bracket, so I was able to get my stand level and get everything set up the way that I want to. They are doing some timbering, it sounds like, across the road from me, so probably about 3/4 of a mile to half a mile to 1 mile from me. It's making a ton of noise, but I'm hoping that it actually plays to my advantage. I'm hoping because of the cutting that they've actually maybe pushed some deer towards me, by knocking down some of that habitat, so there could be more deer concentrated in this area. So far, I have not seen them, if that is the case. My concern is that maybe they've changed the way that they move. Because of it, they may not move toward the sound. So they may stay north of me, on the other side of this field. So hopefully plays to my advantage. It doesn't hurt me. Well, it's a little after 9 o'clock here. It's been a very uneventful morning other than the timber cruise. I don't know if you can tell, but they've actually stopped doing whatever it is that they were doing. It's quieted down. Still have not seen any deer at this point in the morning. I know traditionally from having cameras back here that these deer will move through here kind of all the way up until noon, so I don't know if I'm going to sit that long, but I'm thinking I may stick it out to at least 10 o'clock and hope that I catch something maybe moving through now that all that's quieted down. Well, got skunked again. Seems to be a growing trend for me, so going to go back to the drawing board. I've been so far I've been jumping into areas that I've hunted in the past that I have seen does at, quite a few deer in the past, but obviously those areas are not working out this year, so it's time to regroup. Probably gonna put some boots on the ground and do what you've got to do on public land in these situations, and that's go find the deer. It's Sunday afternoon. Ended up having a little time to get out today, so going to change it up, do it differently. Left the stand behind at the truck, grabbed the tripod, and hiking into an area I've never been into. So far, the traditional areas I have for trying to shoot deer have not played out, so get a little more aggressive and start doing a little more run and gun style hunting. So plan for this afternoon is just to make my way into a couple of waypoints I dropped on a map. Looks like maybe some kind of transition lines between hardwoods and pines, so plan is to get back into there, see what the terrain looks like, see if I find any sign. If I find something good, then I'll probably end up setting up on the ground until dark and see if anything moves through. If I don't see anything promising, then I'll probably just make my way out and head back to the house and start planning for next week. Looks like there's supposed to be a cold front coming in, looking for mid to low 50s by next weekend with northwest winds. So first good cold snap of the year, so I will definitely be in the woods during that time period. We've got about a mile hike back in here. We'll see. I already had some dirt bikes come by. There is a multi-use trail here that runs pretty close, so I should hike past that by at least a quarter, if not a half mile, so not that concerned about them disturbing too many things. Not to mention, if anything lives over here, they're probably used to it, so we'll see what we find. Just hit this area where I'm going to start working around, start looking for sign. So I got back in here, I thought this was a multi-use trail, but it's actually a hiker trail. So as you can see behind me, there's a lot of these small kind of saplings everywhere. And then back over here is actually the area I'm going to work to the north and back around the north side. We have wind out of the south, so I'm going to make my way up, I guess what would be the west side of this pine stand, down this hiker trail, and then work back to the east. Once I get to that north side, I think there'll be a good transition line. I can look for deer sign along that. Basically, I'm just going to make a big circle back around. There's kind of a draw on the south side. I'll work around, hit that draw, and work my way back to this point if I don't see anything. So let's see what we find. All right, just hit this transition line on the north side of this pine stand. So if you can see over here or not, you can see it's real thick with the beautyberry. And then of course in the pines it's fairly open. So I'm gonna work right along that line, see if I find any sign. Just got back around to the south side of that pine thicket and hit kind of this lowland area I was wanting to check out. There's a ton of acorns in here. Almost immediately I found signs that somebody else has been in here hunting, as well as there's a lot of pigs running through the area, which makes sense. It's usually what you run into in these kind of wetland areas, as well as when there's a lot of acorns. So doesn't mean there's not deer, but I have not seen any rubs, any scrapes, or anything. Only sign of deer that I have seen was that skull that I found. So I keep working my way through and make my way back to that hiking trail and probably head back to the truck at this rate. Haven't really seen anything that is making me want to set up and hunt at this point. So if I was after pigs, I probably would, but I'm not interested in that this time of the year. So just keep moving along. Just jumped a deer up, making my way back out of here. Got it right back over there. I think it was a doe. Didn't get a super good look at it. Just kind of got a glimpse of a white tail. So I'm gonna go over there and see if I can see food, any kind of acorns or anything on the ground. If so, I may end up setting up over that, because most likely they may circle back in at some point later on. See what I find. Just jumped another deer as well. Seems like this is where they want to be, so I think I'm probably going to set up. Let's sit here till dark. I think I jumped those deer out of this area here. I think they were eating on acorns. Pretty sure it was 2 does, but it seems like a spot they want to be. Got in here, dropped some milkweed with the wind. My wind seems to be tracking back down toward the lake. So kind of away from what they ran back. The beautyberry back there behind me, so it's usually they'll head back to where they bed. So I think I'm going to set up on the ground in this palmetto. There's kind of a little pocket in there I think I can get set up in, and that'll allow me to cover this area behind me. So let's see if I can make this work. good setup here. I was able to kind of move and tie this palmetto up to where it gives me good back cover. Hopefully my camera's not too exposed. Probably need to get some kind of a netting or something for this tripod. I don't do a lot of ground hunting. It's kind of something new for this year. It's almost 5 o'clock now. I'm just gonna get still and see if anything else will move through this area. Got a south wind, but I noticed when I get that south wind really strong, it actually swirls and goes back toward the south. So that is gonna work in my favor, and I think that's why I was able to walk up on these deer without them smelling me earlier. So fingers crossed. I think we got a good setup. Getting to be that magic hour. It's a little after 6 o'clock. I have about an hour daylight left. So far, it's been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anything anywhere. The wind was pretty consistent, but started to swirl a little bit at times. So I don't think it's gonna make or break it. I think if I do see anything, it'll be at last light this time of year. Just gonna keep sitting tight, let that sun go down and make our way out of here. Well, that plan almost worked. I think she may have been able to see the camera set up here. I know she didn't get my wind. Or maybe she caught me moving, I'm not sure. But she got to about 40 yards coming in and got real cautious. So could have been the same deer from earlier. They just circled back, so she was kind of expecting to see somebody here. But I had just a little window through there that I could have gotten a shot off. If she would have probably taken one more step and turned, I could have drawn and taken a shot. I think it's about 25 yards. So that's hunting though. So I love when a plan comes together though. We just gotta be able to close it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there for the night. I think she probably blew everything in the woods out, and it's just about past shooting light anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and tear down and get out of here.